not chasing a 60K deal. I'm chasing a $3 to $20,000 deal every day. I'm getting a lot of frequency, and they don't gotta be in good areas, right? They don't have to be in good areas, y'all. Like this property, me and the owner agreed to 5,800. So the contract between me and the owner was 5,800. I sold it to a real estate investor for $10,000 in 2 days. I made 4,200 in 2 days. This is a trap house next to another trap house. I never seen the inside of the house. So again, I'm not the one going in there fixing and flipping it up. The real estate investor is going to do that. I got my 4,200. I'm in and out the deal. When you are able to do a couple of these a month, you can start having some breather room. This is North Philly. I never been inside this house. Me and the owner agreed to 13,500. I sold it to a real estate investor for 20, made 6,500 in 4 days. Baltimore County. Me and the owner agreed to 220, sold it for 235, made 15 grand 10 days. I've never been to Detroit in my entire life. I have no plans to ever go there. Me and the owner agreed to 20,000. I sold it for 25, made 5 grand in 2 weeks. From that strategy we just discussed, y'all. And I'm gonna get into the details in a second. But I'm trying to let y'all know, and I'm giving y'all all the property addresses. It's all public information. I can't hide this, right? Before I get into the details, right, there's a couple things I want to show y'all. First and foremost, y'all know what I do, right? I help hundreds of people, thousands of people close deals doing this exact strategy. They go there, his Instagram is right there, $8,000, no cash, no credit, none of that stuff. But forget all that, right? As you get better at doing this strategy, the checks will get fatter. This is a $48,000 deal. No cash, no credit cards, none of that stuff. As you get better at this, your skill set get better, your checks get fatter. The more you learn, the more you earn. I'm sure y'all heard that. Let's talk about buying properties without ever going to the bank. So for my people who might be more interested maybe in buying I was planning to do a regular whole loan. That's why I wanted 60. But he wanted 82,000, and I can't offer him 82K because that's too much. So I ran my numbers. The next day, I ran some numbers. I gave him a call back. I said, all right, I need a comparison of the wholesale option, a sacrifice. All these give me an option. I tell them to pick all the options I can make. That's the direction I'm going to go. We'll talk about this a little bit.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that y'all that comes with y'all increasing like a tool belt. It's so many ways to close business. And by the way, I don't ever go to the bank. Like all these checks I'm having, there's no bank involved in it. My credit score is 600. It don't matter. Right? That's why I need y'all to understand. Don't tell me that your credit score is bad. I don't care. Don't tell me that you need access to all you need to know is how to find and analyze this. You can do those things. Let's talk about this. So that last bill, no property didn't have a mortgage. The owner free and clear. This is what I'm talking about. A mortgage. A little bit different. The owner of this property lost his job and fell behind on his mortgage. Right? So, right, you start falling behind on his mortgage payments. Because eventually, if you don't keep up with that mortgage, you're going to get that mortgage. His mortgage was $1,200. The property was in great condition. It's a great house. All I had to do was hire some cleaners to clean it out. It didn't need no. So behind 2 months, his mortgage is 1200. So research it. Property was all paid. Same bed, same bath, same condition. Right? I purchased this property subject to the existing mortgage that was already in place. What do that mean? Like, what's that mean? I got his loan. His loan back in good standards. So we don't get foreclosed. Right? He moved out of the property, moved into the water bill, the mortgage, right? I put tenants in the property that make $1,800. That $1,800, $600 goes in my pocket of cash flow every single month. The reason he did this is because if he didn't do it, he would have got foreclosed. It would have been his credit like 4 or 5 chances of buying a property. So that's why he did this deal. He wanted to save his credit. Let me explain something to y'all. When you buy your property, somebody got a mortgage on it. Let me explain something to y'all, bro. It's very important y'all understand this. Sign two documents. Sign the deed. The deed explains who is the owner of the house. This is the legal owner. This is who's recorded at the courthouse. Then he signed the debt, which is the mortgage. He signed the deed and the debt. The debt is who's responsible for making these payments. These don't gotta be the same. The deed got transferred to my name. The debt, which is the mortgage, he pays in his name. I purchased the property subject to the mortgage. So this is now my property with his debt. Not my property. Everything is done in a like credit. And the beauty about this is that this mortgage today is 6-7%. I don't want expensive debt. I want cheap debt. He got 3%, a 3% mortgage rate, interest rate in his name. I got a property. If he didn't do it, he would have got foreclosed on. The bank would have took the property. Do this make sense? No problem, Angela. Let me know. Any questions, y'all? I get added on as an additional insurer, so we all protected. All the paperwork is intact, y'all. We ain't doing nothing under the table, no crazy stuff like that, y'all. And some of y'all probably wonder, well, um, what if what if you want to sell the property? It's not his property. It's his mortgage. But it's not his property. It's my property. So let's say that he got $150,000 left that he paying on his mortgage, and I end up selling the property down the road for 250K. Yup, out of that 250, 150 gonna pay off his mortgage, 100,000 gonna go in my pocket. Yes, we are the ones responsible for paying this mortgage. We want to do right by this man, right? We're not going to get into this deal if we don't have good intentions on paying this mortgage. The whole point of this is we're not going to a bank. The mortgage is already in place, y'all. We just taking over his payments on his behalf. That's it. You can do as many of these as possible as you want. By the way, one more thing I want to point out. You can buy your primary residence for you and your family with this strategy. I've seen it done so many times. So for my people on here who want to buy a house for their family, but you can't right now because your credit score trash, whatever the case may be, just knowing how to do this strategy can allow you to buy a house for you and your family doing this, y'all. In any part of the city you want to. You don't have to live in the hood. You can go, if you know how to do this strategy and be a real estate investor, you can go get that luxury condo. But again, we got to find people who is having problems paying a mortgage, behind on this, behind on that. And I'm gonna show y'all how to do that. But this is called subject to, Brad. Subject to. So you basically held the properties up. Patrick, I think I understand what you're saying. Yes. Is this making sense, y'all? Is this making sense? Because this next strategy about to get even more crazier. Um, how is his debt? Hold on, I missed that question. The chat going too fast. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure I get to you. Damn. All right. He has to sign over ownership, and we have. No, we don't have to convince anybody, Ruben. Think about what's going on, Ruben. Let me unmute you, Ruben. We don't got to see. This is the difference between me and a lot of real estate investors. I'm not getting on the phone convincing or trying to persuade nobody anything. I'm telling them what's going to happen. If I'm basically giving him his options. I say, Mr. Seller, look, um, you don't, it's unfortunate you lost your job. Um, you are several months behind on these mortgage payments. You're receiving these letters from the bank, right? Because eventually, right, you're going to be in a pre-foreclosure status, and you're probably going to go to auction, and an investor either going to buy it or you're going to get foreclosed on, right? And while all this is happening, your credit is getting hit with these late payments every month. The credit getting hit. And to be honest with you, Mr. Seller, you're probably going to end up, the end result is going to be a foreclosure. So here's your options, A and B, right? So Ruben, if you in this situation, bro, you ain't got no income, you're going to lose your house to the bank, and you got somebody to come in and say, look, I'll save this loan for you. I'll make sure your credit is get repaired, and you don't go to a foreclosure status. You're going to do it. I don't have to convince him. I'm gonna give him the option. He don't have to do it. Do y'all know how many people right now in this country losing their jobs left and right who own a property who need your help? It's just look, it's more than enough property. Thousands of people is behind a mortgage today. Thousands in your city. But you have to understand the strategy. Ray, what you talking about $25,000 for? Nobody's saying anything about 25K. I had to come to the closing table with 2,400. If you find, listen, let me explain something to y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is part where I gotta get in y'all ASS real quick. If all it takes is $2,400 for you to buy a house and you don't come up with that $2,400, respectfully, you're not meant to be in this game. If you allow a $2,400 to not, if you letting that stop you to buy an investment property, this is not for you. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't care if you don't have 2,400 in your bank account right now. If this deal came across your desk and all you needed was 2,400, you better go find the 2,400. We're talking about buying the asset and you letting $2,400 stop you. I don't understand people with that mindset. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm gonna be honest. This is the reason most people don't succeed because it's very possible these kind of deals going to come across y'all desk, and these kind of sellers y'all going to come across. They gonna need y'all help. All you gotta do is come up with 1,500, 1,000, shit 5,000, shit 15,000, whatever. It don't matter. You gotta figure out. All right, you gotta look at your resources. How can I make this happen so I can get me this investment property for the low low at 3% interest? Otherwise, sit back, let everybody else get it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Dial girl, I'm missing you, dial girl. Dial girl, again, I'll be trying to keep up with all the questions. Matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do, dial girl. I ain't gonna do you like that. So this is what I'm gonna do, dial girl. I'm gonna let you come on the joint. I don't want you to think that and you from Baltimore, I'm assuming. Go ahead, you should be able to unmute yourself, dial girl. What's the question?
I am from California. I'm in
Oh,
California.
I
Hi.
see 410. That's why I said Baltimore.
Oh, really? No, I'm in that 949 area code,
Okay,
Mission
okay, my
VA
bad.
Health.
What's your question though?
So my question is because it's probably more busier out here and harder, but you said we could buy anywhere. My question is, how do we find these
Oh,
properties, and they're not properties that are in foreclosure, have mortgages, or that are behind
so
in mortgage?
they could be so it's different types. So remember, the strategy is first of all to answer your first question. I'm gonna show
Okay.
you how to find these people for sure. They're not
Okay.
leaving here without me showing you how to do that.
Okay.
Secondly, so the strategy is called subject to. So let me kind of like dumb this down, right? When it comes to subject to,
Okay.
all we doing is buying a property subject to something that's already in place. So somebody might be behind on their taxes, real estate taxes. You can buy their property subject to the taxes. So we start paying back. You can matter of fact, let's dumb this down to a vehicle. Somebody right now might be paying $500 for their Honda Accord. Instead of them selling that car and getting repossessed by the police, now they can buy the car from another vehicle and own that replace it. And I'm talking about $500
Okay.
same thing.
Okay. So you're gonna help us out more because I think
Yeah,
there
I'm
was
gonna
a
get into
question
more
there.
details and stuff. Let y'all know the different strategies for different options. Because y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Real estate is all about us. This is how you find the best deal. You gotta find people. Let me go. It's our job to identify people that want to buy real estate. Right? You're helping people and making money. You helping these people. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to the next strategy. This is called establishing an option. Okay. This property is in Richmond, right? So it was a husband and wife policy. However, they went through a divorce. Went through a divorce. When a divorce was final, she had inherited the right to this property. Now it's her property, but she still do have to pay a mortgage, right? She decided she didn't want to live there no more. Too many bad memories with her ex-husband, so she went to go buy a new condo with a new mortgage. So she got two mortgages. This property right here and this new condo that she just purchased. Remember, all these things. She thinks that this property was a for sale. House before, she paid first, she's willing to do that. Her mortgage was she just paid her mortgage cover. She didn't pay the rent, right? Remember, that's a problem, right? As you can see, this is a problem. So you already know what your boy did. I gave her a phone call. I gave her exactly what she was asking for. I offered her $1,100 a month with the option to buy it in 24 months at $150,000, and she agreed. So she signed something called a lease option, aka rent to own. That's the same thing. Lease option, rent to own, same thing. Trust want to get rid of her own property. I'm gonna show you how to do that, Papa. All right. And real quick, just to kind of give you a background on what she did, for those house, they will get denied. So when you get into a rent to own situation, you pay rent, and then over time, as you pay rent, that's getting reported to the three credit bureaus to improve your credit score. So by the end of that option period, you are able to qualify for buy whatever those home programs are meant for, right? Stay with me, right? So I signed the lease option, $1,100 a month. The option to buy it at 160. After I signed that lease option with her, the next day I put it on Facebook Marketplace. And I put it on Facebook Marketplace for $169,900. In the description, I put low down payments, no credit check. I was looking for down one, right? A day later, put down $5,000 non-refundable option, and first month's rent is $1,300. 18 months with the option to buy it at 169,900. That's why it's called a sandwich. Because I'm the one to do this. One license, buyer. How many times I got $200 of cash flow every month. How? Remember, my lease with the owner was $1,100 a month. But I found out so I made $3,600 cash, $5,000 non-refundable upfront option from that supplier. And then I got $4,000 back with the exercise option. So I made $1,000. I never, not just that, I never went to a bank. Didn't get my credit check, no W-2, no tax return, no pay stub. All this makes sense. Give me some fiery notes that y'all like, okay, now we're talking. Yo, by the way, one more time. Everything I'm saying is legal. This is different. Let me tell you something. Yes, buying multi-family property. Doing all these big things. And a lot of y'all got big things. And I commend y'all on that. But to be honest, when I'm having conversations with some people, y'all not there yet. Like to build a house from the ground up. Yo, that requires a lot of capital. It's a lot of risk involved. Before y'all get to those levels, there's certain things I want y'all to do. I want y'all to understand. A lot of us not there yet. Jennifer, so I got you. Go ahead. What's up, Jennifer? You should be able to unmute yourself.
I got confused on the part where you said,
let's say that you want to buy a house and your credit score not good, and you see that you can buy a house for 70,000 and you're not going to get your credit check. All you got to put down is $5,000.
okay.
Right? So I put that up there, and again, I found this tenant buyer. So he got start paying me $1,300 a month every month for 18 months, and then at the end of this 18 months, as he's paying this $1,300 a month, that's getting reported to the credit bureau. His credit score to prove that he can afford this property, and in that 18 months, he now qualifies for the actual to pay the 170.
Okay.
And then he was able to.
Okay. Yep. Okay, I got it.
Wow. Make sense, y'all?
Mm.
Does that make sense, y'all? And let me make I want this like slanging with yeah, exactly, Ruben. And this is the reason this is very important in my opinion. It's low risk. Not one time are we the ones putting our name $500 next year, it is what it is. Pay it or get out. And like I said, I'm a big anything two times. I used to rent. I was a renter and I was a tenant. Now I'm a business owner. I've seen both sides. Let's be honest with you. In order to prosper in this country, you have to. You have to be a business owner and nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 job. I don't think that to whoever is just trying to trick their way out. Y'all, listen. Rents always get the short end of the stick. I'm being honest with you. Since the beginning of time. All get all the benefits. I promise you. It's not something I read, it's not something I made up. I've had in real time. And let me explain why ownership is right. Real estate pays us 5 different ways, y'all. And some of y'all have no idea how important this is. We all know the first way. In my opinion, it's the least important. Everybody want a rental property to get cash flow, but I'm like, this is the least important way to get paid. It's important appreciation. This is where the wealth builds. So on average, in the past 70 years, real estate appreciates at a rate of 5% a year. Buy your house today for $200 next year without you ever touching it. Think about that. Like you don't have to do nothing but automatically. You got $8,000 a year. Not doing nothing. Think about that. Well, they park these money. Number 3, principal payment. Y'all understand every single month that you pay your rent. You're paying down somebody else's home. You're paying down somebody else's debt. Listen, you are limited. There are properties and you paying down their yes, you got to everybody should be able to over the year, but you cannot. The plan should not be renter past 5 years. Depreciation. This is the IRS part. Pay attention. A lot of y'all don't understand this, right? The IRS says that no building can last forever. Every building have a lifespan of 27 and a half years. That's what the IRS said. Every building can only last 27 and a half years. Because of that, you get a tax depreciation, tax benefit because of that. Let me give you an example. You got a property, you pay 100 racks for it. Let's say the building is valued at 80,000. You get the write-off 80,000 over 27 and a half years, which means you get the write-off almost $3,000 on your taxes every year. This is why Donald Trump never got to pay taxes, even though he makes millions or even billions of dollars a year. He owns so much real estate and never paid taxes. Think about that, y'all. You own in real estate and you never got to pay taxes on it. You can't benefit this being a renter, y'all. You can't. Rental appreciation. We all felt this. If you're renting right now, rent go up at least 4% every year, and it's always going to keep going up. All that, remember back in the day, you could pay $700 for that 2-bedroom, and today, that 2-bedroom, damn near $2,000. It just keep on going up. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but you can't do nothing about it. I'm telling y'all, everybody, if a house want y'all to do that before you have to do that. And this is the beauty of this. When I go and I rent it to an owner and I find a deal, only me and the owner know about that deal, not the entire world, not the entire. It's not listed on Zillow. It's just us two. Like that deal I just showed y'all where I'm about to make 13,000. Nobody know about that deal except for me and that owner. I don't need to be going through it. Rare breed. Got you. Got you. Trust me. I promise. Listen to me. Y'all can stop asking me, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm gonna show y'all everything. We not done yet. I can see if we was done. We not done yet. Right? So let's talk about this, right? So, one thing I know. Out of the like let's really build this. How do you do that? Build process, not have a business. Let's need y'all to understand in the chat real quick. Process. Just because you got an LLC, don't mean you have a business. I don't care about you. Process. I go hire someone. That's why I think down. Put them in the back of that kitchen though. Because they have some of the best processes. This is one of my processes. Let's say that I got a list of 1,000 people that's accommodating. Right? I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. Don't worry. I got a list of 1,000 people that accommodate. So it'll say something like, I'm already like to speak to you about purchasing 1, 2, 3, 4. I have the right person. I already know that part. Not interested, don't contact me. Wrong number. How did you say? What is your offer? Why are you interested in my house? Or Maurice might just say, based on what he said, my sister was going to say, he said, what is your offer? My sister would say, I prefer not to throw out a number before I know a little bit more about the product, right? I just can't give you a number. About what you were happy what I could offer. Selling in the next 3 months. Based on what he said about what we do. Right? Let me show y'all something. So if he said, yes, but not within 3 months, then my sister would say, if you did decide to sell to me or anyone else, you would have a rough idea how much you want to not have a problem. And let me explain something. Let me share it. Here go a system I again, let's take that list of 1,000 people that's behind me. I'm going to set them up on something called, I'm going to set them up on a 30-day foreclosure campaign. Right? And you just don't get Maurice is busy. He ain't respond to it. It's going to wait one day and automatically on day two, it's going to send out a second text. Hey Maurice, I really love to discuss 123 Main Street. Would you consider an offer today? We really love the property. Again, let's just say he didn't respond. It's going to wait 6.5 hours. It's going to send out a third text. I will be brief because I believe I can help you immensely. I'm happy to share with what I know about avoiding foreclosure. Time is of the essence. Let's talk. Remember, this list is people that's behind on their mortgage payments. So we know they in a situation where they need to pay their mortgage and it could get a little spooky for them. Let's say that, okay, Maurice decided that he's going to reply now, right? He replies, right? This is the beauty about this. Let me go to conversations. So when Maurice responds, I'm going to text myself so y'all can see how this works. My AI is going to take care of the conversation for me. So for instance, if Maurice responded and said, what is your offer, right? What is your offer? I'm going to show y'all in real time. Let's go to conversations real quick. So I'll text myself, let me see, and I said, look, what is your offer? So my AI said, hey there, before we get your offer, can you tell me a little bit more about the property? Like number of beds, number of baths, and condition, right? So I'm going to say, it's 2 bed, 1 bath, needs of renovation. Needs of renovation, right? So I'm just going to text myself just so y'all can see how this look in real time. And look at my AI, let the AI do what it do. Got it. Do you know the last time the roof has been replaced? Right? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say 20 years ago. 20 years ago, right? And this is the button right here to turn the AI on and off. Thanks for that. What are you looking to sell? Or get it off. I'm gonna say I want 50K. I want 50K, right? Is this making sense, y'all? Again, why you the reason this is important is because if you got 10 different sellers texting you at one time and you at work or you at your kid's soccer game, right? We just can't be waiting 3 days to respond to people. Like, you got to be on top of business. Look, all right, if we were able to present you a cash offer that you like, when would you be ready to sell? I have tenants living in the property. I have tenants. I'm just saying anything. Tenants living in the property. So, like 6 months. I'm just writing anything, y'all. But is this making sense, y'all? Is this making sense, y'all? And again, I'm trying to break this down so that y'all can understand how we have these things in place. Got it. Um, how much are they paying for rent? I'm gonna say they are 6 months behind on rent. Behind on rent. Y'all can see in real time how my AI is taking care of this conversation for me, right? I'm just showing y'all different strategies, y'all. That's all I'm showing. Understood. Let's get you an appointment to discuss further. Um, when would you want to book for? I'll check that. So look, this is connected to my calendar, so they know my availability here. It's called 925reply.com. Let me put it in the chat for y'all. But don't, y'all. Let me explain to y'all. Don't rush to get some of these stuff until you understand real estate a little bit better. But that's the website right there. All right, let me go back to the. Let me see. Is this making sense, y'all? Is this making sense so far? What we're saying right now? I want to make sure we're on the same page. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, let me go back. Let me share my screen. All right, all right. Let's open this back up. I hope this is making sense, man. I'm trying my best to explain this stuff to y'all. All right. We talked about the way not to do this business, y'all. Look, I don't think nobody, especially if you brand new, like going to a real estate auction to buy properties. Yes, you can buy a property at a real estate auction. In my opinion, is not the best way, especially for a brand new people. It's just not. You can't compete with people who got that bag. Like you just can't. You go into a real estate auction, you competing with people who really got that cash in the bank. Why? Like you're wasting your time, in my opinion. Like go directly to the owner. Again, I don't use agents. I'm not meeting with no contractors to buy properties. I'm not going to get my credit pulled. I'm not coming out my pocket tens and thousands of dollars. What about tax buying properties? Andrew Martinez. Yes, you can go after tax buying properties, but I want to go still directly to the owner. I don't want to go to a tax sale and compete with investors. When it comes to me, I find people who behind on their taxes and go directly to the owner. I don't want to compete at an auction with other investors. Is what I'm trying to say, y'all. Do that make sense? We can put a list of people who behind 3 months on 3 years on their real estate taxes or whatever. So you just get certain timelines, like, and that's y'all. Let me be honest with y'all. Like when it comes to real estate, it's so many different strategies, and I could be on this joint 20 hours straight teaching so many different strategies. And I understand some of y'all be thinking about tax sales, share sales, this and that. Yes, you can do real estate all that way, but my whole point is you don't want to actually go to an auction. You want to get it before it go to an auction, if that makes sense. So like when somebody behind on their mortgage payments, you want to take care of business before the auction occurs, because once it gets to the auction, it's gonna be a wrap. You ain't gonna be able to compete against real investors. If that makes sense. I'm gonna show you how to find the people. My bad, I'm just running off. Before we get there, right, you got a couple steps, y'all. So, how do we never come out our pocket to actually buy these houses, right? No, we're not going to credit cards, we don't apply for loans and all that nonsense. Other people's money. When I say other people's money, no,
It's a you.
somebody said white people. The real estate investors, y'all. Investors, we're going to sell the property to have our money free. So they go up to the website, affordable housing. Y'all get lost. Y'all get lost. You go to let's go to affordablehousing.com. Let me explain. So this is a free website. This is a website where real estate investors to list their properties for rent. We don't care about renting properties. We just want to figure out who these real estate investors are and what's their phone number, because these are the ones who's going to pay us cash. So let's say, all would you be interested in taking a look at it? Yes or no? If they say yes, let them take a look at it. If they say no, cool. I'm gonna add city side properties to my prices. Just because they don't want to buy this. Yo, I have bills from this website. When I get properties, I will literally sell the property to all buyers. Buy property. Make some money. Let's look at this town. First town. Like you see Avani. This property for cash. Rent it. We trust to rent it out. Our phone number is right there. All we gotta do is sell them. There are limits to this. All they are doing. Do this thing. Buy property. Fix them up. As you can see. 2825. Their phone number is right there. I don't know how to say her name, or his or her name, but it's right here. Hope this making sense for y'all. Let's go to the next source that I always use, right? Good old what? Facebook Marketplace, y'all. Let me show y'all something. Let me show you how much money I made. I know a lot of y'all think Facebook Marketplace is for old people. Y'all listen to me. There's money on Facebook Marketplace. Let me show y'all something real quick. So remember earlier I showed y'all this property where me and the owner agreed to 220,000, and I sold this property for 235 right here on Facebook. I never seen the owner. I never seen the buyer. I never. Y'all, this is the property. As you can see, it needs work. 6505 Sherwood Road, right? It needed work. I listed this on Facebook Marketplace, and I found a buyer right here on Facebook Marketplace, right? And after I sold him the property, let me show you what he did to it. 6505 Sherwood Road, same property. So I made 15K. I was in and out of the deal. This is what the real estate investor did to it. He fully renovated with his money, his resources. He went to the city, pulled permits, and did all that. As you can see, same property, but it's fully renovated. And after he did a great job, by the way. After he renovated this house, he ended up selling it for 380, as you can see. So everybody made money, everybody eat. It's just he took on the most risk. Again, he bought the property, he renovated it, he went to the county, he went downtown to pull the permits and did all that. Yes, these are all buyers that I'm showing you. They the ones who have our money. Let's go back to Facebook Marketplace. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to be buying properties. Yes, I could have bought this property for $6,000. And this was most people would do. Y'all would buy this house for 6,000, thinking y'all had the resources to renovate this. If you brand new, 9 times out of 10 you don't. You're gonna have to worry about squatters breaking in your property in this area, stealing your appliances, stealing all your copper, messing your property up. I don't want to deal with that. I made a couple $1,000s. I was in and out. It's a bando next to another bando. You don't have to deal with that if you don't want to. I'm not saying don't ever fix and flip or nothing like that. I'm just saying a lot of y'all get jammed up thinking just because the house is so cheap that you should buy it and try to do this yourself. When that's not where you at right now. Do this make sense, yo? Do this make sense? I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna let y'all get. Listen, we ain't even. Nobody's leaving here without me answering a question. If y'all do have questions, all right. Let's talk about finding these sellers now. Y'all keep asking me, how do we find the sellers? Like I said earlier. Matter of fact, let me look at the chat real quick. I'm trying to stay on. I'm trying to stay focused, y'all. I'm trying to stay focused. Um, real quick, up to this point, did anybody got any questions? Let me see. So the real estate investors are how we get paid. Yes. And the reason that's important because a lot of y'all think y'all need to go out here and go get a bunch of credit card debt and loans. You don't have to. If y'all see what's going on here, once you go find good deals, you will always be able to make money in real estate. Do this make sense? All right, let's talk about finding 70,000 people that's behind on their taxes in Atlanta, Georgia. Over 70,000 people. There's over
What the hell?
8,000 vacant houses. That means nobody lives in those houses. Over 8,000.
What
Don't
y'all
y'all think
doing?
that's a problem for somebody who own a vacant house? They still got to pay property taxes, right? They still got to keep the house. That's a problem. So let's keep the vacant houses just for the purposes of this. Let's scroll down. Let's focus on residential. Somebody just asked me about. Yes, you can focus on that. Let's just focus on residential. Let's focus on single family houses for right now. Yes, we can focus on both. Townhouses. You're not limited, but I'm just trying to keep it simple to the information. You can get specific as far as the beds, the baths, all that stuff. I'm gonna keep everything super simple. Like, look, we can get specific with the condition of the property, poor, average, all that stuff. MLS, remember what I told you? Don't put properties listed with the always click no. If you click yes, they're going to show you properties listed with a realtor. You don't want to deal with realtors. Remember, when a property is listed with a realtor, the entire world can see that. You don't want to be in the bidding war with people who got millions of dollars. You're not going to put that back. Always click no. We go directly to the owner. Next, let's go to, let's click on some owner occupied. No, that means the owner don't live in the house. Always click no. The owner don't live. So they own the property. They don't even live in the house. Here's the ownership. Let's go right now. This means they own the house for at least 15 years. Think about that. They own the house. The longer somebody owns the house, the more wear and tear on the property, the more equity offers out of it. This means that the owner lives in a home. But think about what we just built. They live in a whole other state. That's a problem. Let's look at these 20. All these properties fit this description. Like, look at this property. Look at this. This is what we looking for. Y'all see trash, I see money. I see gold. See this? Press 1 if you think this is a problem for the owner. This is a problem for the owner. Press 1. This is a problem. This is a problem. It's our job. It's our job. Look at this. Who is the owner? The owner name is Andre Patterson. He's the owner. He lives in South Carolina. His property is in Atlanta, Georgia. He owned this property for 25 years. Some of y'all might be wondering. Why can we offer them 100,000? Because we see that about just 329,000 same exact block. I catch it. Is this making sense? Give me some fire emojis. This is clicking. So y'all riding past all these houses that's looking like trash. How would all of So I'm from Philly, y'all. I'm moving to the DMV. I already know that because it's over. South border house. Baltimore is a beginner, should you start in the area you live in? You don't have to, but this is what I'm gonna say, right? If you're in one of those little cities where you know that city inside out, why not? Get on the phone with that seller and you contract with them for a little bit. You won't know that city inside out, but you don't have to. All right, I'm gonna get so let's talk about how the paperwork So contract real estate investor. We take both of these contracts, send it to the title company. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show y'all a real contract, what they say, how are we always all of that. Remember, documents are not us several times. We always do. This is not rocket science, y'all. Like, don't think that real estate investing gotta be for rich people and all that. It just takes a little skill set and knowledge. It's some grind, right? It takes work. But my baby is well. I ain't trying to work. But once you start doing this stuff, the beauty about this, y'all, stuff. So whenever I buy a house as an investment property, like I go find my own. I go to the owner. I go find my own property. I'm not dealing with those realtors. I'm not playing them. Like this is like the sky's the limit. This stuff. Let me So this first contract I'm showing y'all is the contract between us and the owner. Once we identify the owner, y'all, this is the contract. I'm about to break this down for y'all. So pay attention. So Tremaine, it was a husband and wife. So this is a real contract. This is Tremaine and stuff. Hey y'all. But of course, how long we got. Settlement shall take place within 30 days of contract ratification. All ratification means is after all parties get signed, the property is the contract is signed. That means we officially under contract. That's when the clock starts. So we got 30 days after all parties get signed. Like not just that. Now, closing may be extended, which means after that 45 days, we still didn't close. We get the extended 45 more days, which means we get 2.5 months. I'm gonna be honest with y'all though. You should never need that long. You should need 21 days. Like if you really get taught the right way, whoever's teaching you or your coaches teach you the right way, you should never this property is being sold as we talking to you stuff we never had. Full gut renovation. It's a dead rat. We buy property. Buyer going to end up gutting the whole property. So they don't got to do nothing to the house. Right? 4957 at So that first contract between us and the owner, 6,000. Title and escrow. Title subject to financial partner. In the chat, who is our financial partner? Who is our financial partner? Yes, 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 yes. The real estate investment. So with if this all subject to financial, that means if we don't find a buyer, we get the back end. Been doing this for a long time, never got sued, never got taken to jail. Get the back out. We ain't got no money. We don't got no look, this is the contract. We all sign electronically. I never met these people in my life. This is a page and a half. This is the contract between us and the seller. Which I mailed them on Facebook. So let me open this up. This is the contract between us and the buyer. So, right here. So I only need $2,000, but don't even make 2,000 every 2 weeks. You work 40 hours. Get to the point where you can do first. All the way through. I want y'all to get start off doing one. Then as you start getting paid, reinvest in the money back. Call for $50, start getting 2, 3 of these. Like when you got an extra 4 to 6K a month rolling in, not the biggest deal in the world. Hey, think about this. You ain't gotta go get all these loans and credit cards and all that stuff. I want y'all to think about that. When we go, we got think about title company relationships you have. Money. Like you in a way better situation. You got a lot of more resources to start with. Instead of answer this, right? I sold it to you. Look, this is one page. Master's title and escrow. So I took this contract, the owner I just showed you of, emailed it to Master's title and escrow. And for this property, I got, because you can get a check or you can get a wire, right? They're going to ask you, right? The best email in the world is, we are clear to close. Do you want a wire or do you want a check? So how it works is, if they send you a wire, they take out $35 for that wire fee. If they send you a check, they're going to FedEx that check. It might